Paul was a gifted student with a remarkable intellect. His teachers were impressed by his intelligence and his ability to grasp complex concepts quickly. However, his classmates found him difficult to work with because he always believed he was right and was not willing to accept help or work with others. Paul would often refuse to cooperate with his peers on group projects, insisting on doing everything his way. He believed he was smarter than everyone else and that working with others would only hold him back. His teachers tried to persuade him to be more collaborative and to accept help when needed, but Paul was too stubborn to listen. Despite his impressive academic achievements, Paul's behavior began to affect his grades. He would often struggle with assignments and projects, but he would never ask for help. He believed that asking for help was a sign of weakness and that he could figure everything out on his own. One day, Paul's science teacher announced a project that would require the students to work in pairs. Paul was not thrilled about working with someone else, but his teacher insisted that he partner with Sarah, a shy and introverted student. Paul was annoyed by the assignment, but he agreed to work with Sarah. However, he was not pleased with the arrangement and made it clear that he would do most of the work himself. Sarah was a bit intimidated by Paul's reputation, but she was grateful for the opportunity to work with him. As they began to work on the project, Paul realized that it was more challenging than he had thought. He struggled to come up with ideas, and he was not sure how to proceed. Sarah tried to help him, but Paul was dismissive of her suggestions, believing that he knew best. Meanwhile, Sarah was struggling with her part of the project. She had never been very good at science, and she was not sure how to approach the assignment. She tried her best, but she kept making mistakes and falling behind. Paul noticed that Sarah was struggling, but he did not offer to help her. Instead, he saw an opportunity to take advantage of her mistakes and let her fail. He believed that if Sarah failed, he would still get a good grade because he had done most of the work. However, as Paul continued to work on the project, he began to feel guilty. He knew that what he was doing was wrong, and he realized that he needed to change his attitude. He understood that teamwork was essential, and he needed to learn how to work with others to achieve success. One day, as Sarah was working on her part of the project, Paul noticed that she was making a mistake. Instead of pointing it out to her, he decided to offer to help her. To his surprise, Sarah was grateful for his help, and together they were able to complete the project successfully. When the project was graded, Paul was surprised to discover that he and Sarah had received the highest score in the class. He realized that working with Sarah had actually helped him to learn new things and come up with better ideas. From that day on, Paul's attitude towards working with others changed. He became more collaborative and was more willing to accept help when needed. He realized that teamwork was essential in both school and in the real world, and that he needed to learn how to work with others to succeed. When Paul graduated from school, he got a job in a company where he was assigned to work on a team. Initially, he found it challenging to adjust to working with others. However, he remembered the lesson he had learned in school and began to work more collaboratively with his colleagues. Over time, Paul became a valued member of the team. He was able to contribute his ideas and expertise, but he was also willing to listen to the ideas of others. He realized that he could not do everything alone, and that accepting help was not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength. He began to build strong relationships with his colleagues, and they respected him for his willingness to work with them. In conclusion, Paul's journey from being a stubborn know-it-all to a collaborative and successful team player teaches us that accepting help and working with others is crucial for success. Whether it is in school or in the workplace, we need to learn how to collaborate and work effectively with others to achieve our goals. We must recognize that we do not know everything and that there is always something we can learn from our colleagues.